Welcome, chefs, but this time, not to the kitchen.
I'm gonna cry. The kitchen
Uh,
has burnt to the ground.
The kitchen. Yeah, that was pretty good. I can't come up
Thanks.
with anything better. Yeah. Anyways, chefs, you'll always be our chefs.
Always.
We'll probably keep that joke running.
Cook it up.
Yeah, we'll cook it up. We'll always be cooking
The
it up.
OGs will always know.
But today we're bringing you the rundown with Jake and Nate. Each week.
That's the show.
That's the show.
This is news to me.
Yeah, the rundown with Jake and Nate.
Yeah.
I figured, number one, it's a good play on. We have a good play on with our branding.
Runaway vows.
It kind of tips the cap to Runaway Vows,
Yep,
the rundown.
rundown.
But also the rundown is just like a good news anchor thing.
Yeah.
We're giving you the rundown on all
Yeah.
things creative, business, weddings.
Yeah.
So while we're still fleshing out the intro, some power statement like "Welcome, chefs, to the kitchen."
Yeah.
For now, it's just "Welcome to the rundown with Jake
Like
and
the
Nate."
rundown. Clean. Better.
This is one of those things where it's like we were fully committed to
Drop
the Jake and
the
Nate
the.
show. Drop the. Actually,
No, I like the rundown. Yeah.
we were pretty much fully committed to the Jake and Nate show
Yeah. Until this moment.
until it was just like But that's how Runaway Vows happened too. We were just like
I
Runaway
wanted
Vows.
Lemon Tree.
We would have been great under Lemon Tree, dude. If some guy can make it under
Dr. K.
Blue
Think
Couch
about
Productions,
The Lemon True.
we could have made it with Lemon Tree.
Blue Couch Productions.
Do you remember when we were shooting at the Breakers and they're like, "Yeah, we should use this person"? It's like
That was Blue Couch?
it was like something couch.
Okay.
Something couch. But we could have made it to where we are with Lemon Tree. Point is,
The rundown.
the rundown is it fits within our brand.
It does.
And it's also a very nice name for a podcast.
It's going to be our podcast.
So we'll come up with a nice catchy intro. You're going to notice the song has changed. No more living in a daydream.
Which I fought against, you guys. I fought against it. This is not my arena.
We're just going to be more of a YouTube personalities with this. So we're
Yeah.
going to really lean into that. So
Daydream was a great YouTube.
Daydream was good while it lasted. But this is episode 70, Jacob.
Is it?
This is do it.
Oh, that's right. We had
this is it.
69 last week. Yeah. Great.
But let's hop into episode 70.
Let's cook.
Jacob, you're 29.
29?
You're 29.
All my new girl watchers out there.
Thought that's from?
Yeah. 29?
I never got into that.
It's a good show. Yeah. When he turns 29, just the whole episode. 29?
How does it feel?
Good. Ready for 30.
Yeah.
Next
Big-
up.
the big
yeah.
3-0.
Ready to move on.
Next year,
Yeah, it's been good. It was a good
Yeah.
day.
just hung out with the fam.
Yeah, good dinner. Just coming home from a trip, and then just walked in. Kent's at the house, all decked out with birthday stuff, and then just then walking into a smiley baby. You're just like, oh. And then we just ate dinner and had brownies and ice cream, Neapolitan ice cream, which I'm a huge fan of.
I haven't
in my
had
20
Neapolitan in
in my
a
late
while.
20s.
In a while.
Tasted like an In-N-Out milkshake. That's always what I got. In-N-Out Neapolitan.
Neapolitan is strawberry, chocolate,
Yeah.
vanilla, right?
I always get that at In-N-Out. That's the milkshake I get,
Never got it.
dude.
In and out?
Get the
I always
Neapolitan.
get the vanilla one.
Get the Neapolitan.
Do
It
they
is-
mix it all together? Like, is it just?
Yeah.
It's just one flavor.
I've
Or is
never
there,
actually
like,
taken the top
sectioned
off.
off?
No, it's probably just swirled together. It's
Oh.
delicious. 10 out of 10. I've never
Really?
gotten anything else. Yeah. Well, I got
Really?
chocolate, but I always
Okay.
got the Neapolitan. After this, we should go get some In-N-Out.
I could be persuaded.
I love In-N-Out. I had In-N-Out in Arizona last week, and I was like, I need to come to this place more often.
Yeah.
And it's like both you eat for like $13.
Well, no, that's what I was about. In Vegas a couple weeks ago, like we were, at Fountain Blue, wild paid just the amount we spent $24 on 2 bottles of
yeah,
Fiji.
that's 4
It's-
meals at In-N-Out.
Oh, it was stupid. Yeah. And so on our second to last day there, we finally just because we were just like going around. We just
Yeah.
got in and out one day, and it was $16 for both of us
Yeah.
instead of a $80. It was like, oh my gosh.
$200 at Mother Wolf.
Yeah.
Worth it though.
Insane. I was like, gosh, dang.
Yeah.
But yeah, In-N-Out's great.
I love In-N-Out, man.
Okay.
Sponsor us.
All right, please. Man, In-N-Out shake right here on the middle.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
We should get a drink company to.
Yeah, I got their double and their cheeseburger. I was just like, man, I need to come here more often.
What do you think of their fries?
Not my fries. I like McDonald's fries.
See, I like their fries.
Yeah. I like them for In-N-Out, but they're not like goated to me. But
Yeah.
like I
For sure.
love them.
For sure,
But
they're not
It's just
goated.
like I like the McDonald's.
Yeah. I do appreciate their as fresh as they can be. You see them slicing the potatoes
Well, I was reading,
straight into the fryer.
I think you told me this too. In-N-Out has the freshest ingredients of any fast food chain in the world.
I think you're thinking about Taco Bell ground beef.
No, but I'll find the article. I think In-N-Out is up there at the same.
I wouldn't doubt
in
it.
the same.
I wouldn't doubt
it's
it.
In-N-Out and Taco Bell's beef.
Yeah.
But why Taco Bell takes a hit is because their other ingredients
Right.
aren't as fresh as their ground beef.
Right.
Whereas In-N-Out, the potatoes, the bread, the lettuce, it's all
fresh.
and the meat.
Dude, I get the double, but I get it protein style, the lettuce wrap. I'm not kidding. I like it better than the buns. And I'm not like,
Yeah,
I
love the protein
I'm
style.
all gluten.
Yeah.
Like, I love gluten.
Yeah.
I'm gluten meister over
Gluten
here.
pros.
But the lettuce wrap, like something
It's
about
good.
the crunch and
It
the
hits.
freshness.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, it hits. Yeah.
I love the protein
Yeah,
style.
it hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Neapolitan ice
What
cream,
a-
Nathan.
Wow. Yeah. Well,
worth
maybe
it.
we'll get it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great day then. Great day.
It was good.
Well, we should
29?
We should tell the viewers there's an obvious change in what they're seeing right now.
For our audio listeners, nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, it probably sounds the exact
Yeah,
same.
we're trying out a new studio today.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys like it. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, loving it.
Yeah.
Looks really
It's
good.
a vibey. It smells like a anthropology volcano
It's
candle
the
in
Blue
here.
Capri volcano.
Yeah.
Smells incredible.
Do you think like in the future, like when like we'll have devices where like your computers emit scents?
Scent.
Like how like Pure is becoming popular and these kind of scented things like you
Pure
put a vial in your computer and you can like have like a fan blow out scents, like a small little vial, and then like if you have like you're watching a movie, it becomes like a 4D experience.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I was about to say though, are scents as big of a thing outside of Utah as they are in Utah?
I feel like big in Arizona too.
Really?
Maybe Western culture.
Maybe. Because we just have something like blankets, scents,
Yeah.
protein supplement
Yeah.
companies.
I think so. I think candles are huge everywhere.
That's true. But like Pura, I know they're a
Yeah.
huge company. I just don't know
Yeah.
how big they are outside of
I'm
Utah.
curious. No,
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
no idea.
No, I
Love
mean,
scents.
I would love a nice
Yeah.
little USB. You plug it in there,
Yeah.
and we're starting
Be a
to
vibe.
border the line of vaping.
We should
Nice
just start
USB
vaping.
stick.
I never understood vaping.
Yeah, me neither.
Sorry, my vapors.
Me neither. Yeah, but hey, 29, both of us
29.
going on 30 next year.
Last year.
Actually, on that tangent you were just on, the Sphere. I saw a show in the Sphere, and it is a 4D experience.
Okay.
Like
You smell things.
you smell things,
Wow.
and they have wind in there.
Wow.
It was really cool, and you don't even like. It's not. It's
What'd you
so,
see?
It's so subtle. It was called the Postcards from Earth. So think about
Wow.
think about like Planet Earth with David Attenborough, just like on
Yeah.
steroids. It's just basically it's about
Like
these,
Soren from Disney.
yeah.
The ride.
Yeah, but the movie is like 50 minutes long, and it's two astronauts, and they wake up on this distant planet, and like Earth has been destroyed, and so like as they're waking up, this computer generated voice is recapping them and like refreshing their memory where they are and why they're there and why they were sent there, and part of that is like showing them what they left behind, and so it tells the whole story of Earth,
Interesting.
and it just shows the coolest things you'll ever see. But yeah, it's 4D. There's wind in there, but it's so subtle you don't even notice it. And there's like smell and scent, and your seats kind of shake. It's crazy.
I'll have to go.
Yeah, you would be in heaven.
Yeah.
I didn't get their popcorn, but it looked pretty good. You would be in heaven.
And that
Jake.
theater I went to in Phoenix,
The Loft.
they had the popcorn they gave it to you in a glass bowl.
Wow.
So I felt like we were eating at home.
Do you give it back at the end?
Yeah, you just leave it there. Yeah, it's
Huh.
like a full service menu. Give me food. I had one of the best chicken sandwiches ever.
Wow.
Yeah, popcorn in like a ceramic bowl, and so you feel like you're just kind of at home watching a movie. It was a vibe. It was great popcorn too.
How'd you
Top
find
it
this?
off.
How'd you find the rest
Was that
of the place?
Cinegirl I sent you? Those videos of the lobby?
Yeah.
Was that place?
But did you just
Mike
find it on
knew
Matt?
it. Yeah,
Oh, Mike knew it?
Yeah.
They just give you
was nice.
the throw up bowl.
Yeah.
Here you
Yeah,
go.
it was nice.
Yeah, that looked like a vibe.
Yeah.
Well, good. We're back.
Glad to be home.
Yeah, back in the swing of things. Back in the swing of
I
things.
ate
we are.
so bad this weekend. Without you traveling with me, I feel there's no one to keep me accountable. There's no one like with me like, I'm not gonna get this Chips Ahoy because Nate's here, so I'm not gonna like. It's just like, yeah, we're healthy, we eat healthy. He's a healthy guy, so it makes it much easier. When there's no one with me, I'm unhinged. I realized I bought like 2 candies at the airport, and then I went to Safeway the night I got there.
Did you have
and
your own car just driving around?
was like we were like in a walking area, so I just walked to the Safeway and I just got I bought a little box of watermelon, and then I bought Chewy Chips Ahoy, popcorners, and Cheez-Its, and I downed those all weekend.
Chewy Chips Ahoy.
Yeah, just everything was in a red package, and I was like, man, this is not healthy. and then we didn't eat on the event day, and then that night I ate pizza and Coke. Quit to stay up and edit, and then yesterday, same thing on the way home. I got Sour Patch, Cheez-Its. Yeah, not good.
Hey.
So today I'm fasting.
Hey.
I'm fasting all day today.
Except for the Neapolitan ice cream.
Yeah, it's
the
true.
Neapolitan
I do want
In-N-Out,
that.
we might
Yeah,
end
I'm
up
fasting
after this.
all day. Yeah, and I came home and Kenzie had Oreos and Reese's and
All your favorites?
all this stuff just for birthday. I'm like, well, I'm gonna eat this all week. She's like, no, space it out over the year. I'm like,
I'm just going to...
it'll be gone this
I
week.
actually... I mean, I do have a theory. When this is what I try to do, like when I have a ton of junk in the house,
Yeah.
I literally will try to eat it as fast as possible.
Okay.
Like if I get a huge thing of like kettle chips, those are my weakness. I'll eat the whole bag in a day so I can reset the next day. Because if I drag it on
It's a good idea.
and I eat kettle chips like right when I wake
Yeah.
up, the whole rest of the day it's like, sure, whatever, I'll eat whatever.
She also gave me blow pops for Valentine's Day,
She got you blow pops?
like a box of blow
I
pops.
love blow pops.
And I have been they're on my desk for the last 2 weeks. I've been downing those things.
I love blow
are so
pops.
good.
Those things when you get to like the perfect,
So
like,
good.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
eat all of it as fast as you can,
All right. Well, I'll eat it today
and then
after my fast.
and just lock in tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
Jacob, we're back in the swing.
we're back.
We're back.
Nice little 15-minute
Yeah.
interlude about
Yeah.
who knows.
I found that people don't. I think we think they hate our little interludes, but I think people
I hope so, because that's all we do.
they kind of comment mostly on
Yeah, that's true.
the non-wedding stuff.
Yeah,
They'll
that's
probably
true.
talk about the In-N-Out Neapolitan
yeah.
chick.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about some wedding stuff.
Great.
Okay. So the wedding stuff we're going to talk about today. I was thinking about this over the past week, and you handle most, if not all, of the inbound client
Kinda my-
calls. Like
my
after,
thing, yep.
So that's your thing. After the, I guess our system's a little different. We know some people who heavily sell. They just sell,
Mm-hmm.
and try to pitch their services. We don't follow that approach, but we still do encounter quite a bit of objections from clients. And so in this episode, I wanted to just go through some common scenarios that people will come across on their consultation calls,
Yeah.
their
Also,
calls with clients.
did you see Sarmiento's story just now? His pricing calculator?
No. Is it?
It's so much better than
Gosh,
ours.
dang
Well, it's different. It's like a proposal calculator. It's anyway, because I've been working on a V2 for our pricing calculator.
Yeah.
But I have to tell him that it was heavily inspired by his. Yeah.
Man.
Anyway,
Yeah, I've recently turned on notifications for Will and 87 and Smith,
yeah,
Kyle.
look at his story. It's nuts.
I will.
Anyway,
But yeah, just
tricky client situations.
so just like tricky client situations that we've come across over the years, because we've done tons and tons of calls.
Yeah.
And it's kind of dialed down to a T. But I feel like a lot of people have a lot of questions about what their calls should look like. How much should they talk? How much should they pitch? And that's something you're really good at.
Yeah.
So I have this scenario board that I want to go through. And,
Love me some hypotheticals.
Okay. And you haven't seen these. I'm telling the audience, Jake has
Gosh.
not seen these. These are off the cuff.
It's like a quiz.
We won't go through all of them, but I think we have 25. But let's
Go through all of them.
All right.
4-hour podcast. Let's go. I will rant for 10 minutes on each one.
Okay. So we're gonna start off hot.
Okay. 25.
25.
Good God.
Yeah. Okay. Jacob, this is the first one.
I feel like this is a quiz.
It is a quiz because I already wrote answers down.
Gosh.
Okay. What do you do?
Sweating.
What do you do when the client says you're out of our budget? They're on a call with you. They say, hey, love your work, love everything, but just not it.
See it, broke AB.
Sorry. Yeah, I know someone else.
If they say we're out of their budget.
Yeah.
A couple things. So let's back up. Let's say you own a
Imagine there's
restaurant. Okay, well, Nate and you and I have a goal of how much money we want to make a year
Yeah.
for our
Yeah.
wedding side of our production company. How much we want to make a year. Okay, then we say, okay, how many weddings we want to film a year? X amount, and we divide those two numbers. So, for example, we want to say, I'll have to pull ours up, but let's say you want to film $5,000 weddings. That should be the last thing you calculate. The first thing should be
The
how much money you
price.
want to make a year.
Okay.
Let's say $100,000. How much do you want to travel and work a year? That should be your goal of I want to hit this many weddings a year. Okay, and that means if I want to hit my financial goal with that many weddings, I got to charge this much.
Right.
And so for us, we want to be charging 10 grand or 10 to 15 grand per wedding to hit our goal of I think $100,000 or $200,000 a year in revenue. So that being said, if a client comes in and says you're out of our budget, my first thought is I don't care. I will find somebody who is. Like I will fill that weekend. It's my job. It's our job as marketers of our production company to fill our calendar.
Right.
Whether that's through cold outreach, networking efforts. Like I'm confident that if we say no to them,
Find somebody else.
I'm overly confident
Yeah.
that we will find someone to fill that weekend. Now I know not everyone is. And there are times we've been wrong about that where we haven't filled that calendar, and that's on us. But like I also think the principle is good. So where I'm willing to come down on that and say, we'll work with the budget is for two reasons. If I saying I'm not confident we're going to fill that date, maybe it's like next month, which happens a lot recently. I feel like next
Really
month,
quick.
I'm like, it's last minute. Don't think we're going to fill that date with a high paying gig. I'd rather make X amount than nothing.
Then zero.
So I'm willing to come down there. Or if it's like a planner or an opportunity that's like, wow, we could use that to market ourselves to more weddings.
Something.
Willing to come down because that's going to make us money in the long run. Another perk of being in education is that if we can turn that into an educational thing that can sell our gamut LUTs or our course or do a job shadow, we'll make a lot more money than any full price wedding on the back end. I don't know, everyone's in that situation, but a good incentive to be. Or if it's just kind of like, you know what, I can remove things from the package to meet your budget
Right.
without sacrificing what we offer. So it's like, yeah, instead of 10 hours or 2 shooters or a ceremony edit, we'll take all those off, do 8 hours, 1 shooter and a highlight and a teaser. And so it's like, I'm not really working more for less money. I'm doing less for less money.
Right.
So then, yeah. If it's way less and it's like, you know what, it's just not worth my time, then yeah. So a lot of different variables to answer your question
Right.
of why I'd say yes or no. But my first response would be like, more times than not, I don't care. I'll
Right.
find somebody else.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, and that's totally like my train of thought too. I really do. Ever since we went to the Clarity retreat,
Yeah.
Jason was teaching something that was really, I don't know, it's kind of eye opening to me because he was preaching that people just want the basics captured and they don't really know
Yeah,
what
I
they're
remember
asking
that,
for.
yeah.
They don't really know what they're asking for. They just know I want someone to capture my
They
wedding.
really don't.
They don't. And so if they reach out and say, hey, you're out of our budget, yeah, there's multiple things you can do. You can, number one, say, hey, okay, what do you want to work with? What's your budget? And they say, let's say you're offering $5,000 and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
our budget is, $3,000. It's like, great, we can do $3,000, but we're going to be doing an 8-hour day instead of a, who knows how much you're regular doing. And then just kind of tone back on some of the edits. And
5-minute edit on 8-minute edit. You don't get a teaser so that they know that they're not getting the full extent of what you offer. Yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, if it's a month out, 3,000 on one Saturday is better than zero, right? Yeah, there's a lot of variables that go into it for sure.
So it's hard when those happen on a call when they say like, here's our budget. Cause I usually just say, like, well, the lowest we can go is this much and you'll still get this. But after that, we start to lose money because we have business costs. We have editors, we have shooters, we have, it's just, it just needs to make sense for us to say, and even if we do take the gig, it's like, if you're being put into our backlog of our posting, our editing schedule, like our feedback revisions, like a lot goes into it. So is it also worth my mental health?
Yeah, your
my
mental
mental
space.
load to say, I'm going to put you in the mix between 2 full paying clients that need my undivided attention. And a lot of the times that's why I say no. Is I'm like we can make it work, but I really, that month, I need to give everything to these 4 clients who are paying full fees.
They get
And so I just can't have the mental capacity to communicate with you back and forth. And I will say this. I'll say this. In my 8 years of doing this career, whenever you give somebody an inch, they
want
do
a
take
mile.
it a mile.
Yep, they do.
And I will say, whenever I give discounts, they I'd say more times than not become the most
The
high
worst.
maintenance client.
They do.
And they don't mean to be. I don't think anyone has the intent to be mean and to be high maintenance and to kind of try to slime their way through the best deal. But like, for whatever reason that is, whenever I do offer a discount, it's like this door opens, this Pandora box of they want more, and they and it's hard to say no because I've already said yes to that. Like I've
Yeah.
already said yes to something, and so it's weird to be like no.
Yeah.
So I just tend it's hard,
You
awkward,
got to be careful.
but it's in the long run better to just kind
Yeah.
of stick to your guns.
No, I agree.
And I'd say we're at a point in our careers, and I think we're incredibly blessed to even say this, that I'm really at a point where it's a lot harder for me to say yes to deals and discounts and value things. 'Cause
Exposure.
I think we have enough of a portfolio
Yep.
where I don't feel a need to say,
Yeah, sure.
yeah,
If
unless
you
it's
do
like,
this-
wow, this is a huge opportunity to get us in the door with the right people.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we take cuts all the time to work with the right people because that's important. It makes money in the
Yeah.
long run, as you said. And our calls are scheduled. Our calls are different because we're not really selling. So we don't come across this a whole lot because the client will see through our website, through our contact form, what our prices are.
Yeah, I think we have like 3 firewalls that they have to like acknowledge that we charge X amount before they inquire. Yeah.
So if they get on the call and they're like, hey, you're out of our budget, obviously they didn't bother reading the 3 different times we told them, hey, this is how much you charge.
Or
So
they're just
we don't want-
hoping we
Yeah, they're hoping for some FaceTime
Yeah.
and then just, can we do it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't run into that a whole lot, but I know a lot of people do. Because some people just sell. They don't sell. They don't say their prices. People just get on the call and they're like, hey.
which you guys there's 80 right ways to do this.
Correct.
Like, I think depending on the market you're in, you're either in high, like for us, or our goal is we want to be high demand videographers.
Right.
To eliminate a lot of that, kind of the need
Yep.
to sell. Now we know it's like kind of, and I'm using this term literally, a luxury that not everyone has. But a more common approach is people are inquiring, they're curious about you, they want to hear about, what you offer, and it is your job to sell them.
Yeah.
And we still have that. We have our consultation calls where the selling isn't really about selling our value. It's about selling who we are and our brand, so that we feel that they feel that we fit in with their vision.
Yeah.
Whereas I think a few years ago we used to sell, in the sense that they had to be sold on the value we offered. Like, wow, they offer good films, they offer edits, they offer shooters, drone.
Right.
Whereas now our clients are really just sell us on you, like as a person. Are you going to be professional? Are you going to be a pleasure to work with? Are you going to vibe with us? That one call with our 2 brides, like, are you going to like treat us as equals? Like, are you going to be, can I trust you both to be on your own? Like, it was just like a very interesting aha, like, wow, yeah, we're not really selling, like, here's how many edits you get, and here's how many, the quality of cameras. And it's like, no, like Jake and Nate.
Yeah,
were
you're
your
selling
guys.
the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which has kind of been fun.
It has
I'd
been
say.
fun.
Yeah.
It's been very fun.
To sell the brand more so than sell
Yeah.
the service.
Yeah. That answers the question.
In a long Jake rant.
I feel like we beat it to death.
Crossed off like 12
All right,
of the
yeah,
other
we're
ones.
good. We're good.
No, but like, yeah. So
No.
I'll wait till the other comes in.
I'm sure there'll
I'll be
some
faster. We'll do a
crossover.
lightning round.
No, it doesn't need to be a lightning round. We just need, people.
Godspeed, Tanner.
People
Clipping that into something.
Have fun, Tanner. No, people value more in depth than just
Yeah.
speed rounds,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of different variables. So this one I'm a little excited about. So what do you do? What do you do, Jacob, when the client continues asking for more revisions?
Yeah.
First off, how many do you offer for free?
Yeah. This is a hard one for me.
Yeah.
Again, please, everyone has a different approach.
More than one way to do it.
8 years later, and again, there's the corporate answer, and then there's the wedding answer.
Right.
The corporate answer in me says every revision should be charged for. But that's also because you're doing so much pre-production where you're not really shooting anything
Yeah.
that the client doesn't already know how it's gonna look. You have a vision board, you have a pre-pro, you have everything done. So if they want revisions, it's kind of like, okay, well, you're paying for every edit.
Yeah.
And you're also working on an hourly fee, so you have to be. Whereas with weddings, it's a little bit different based on your pricing is structured. So what I typically like to do, I think kind of over the last 8 years, what we've evolved into is we offer a quick revision for free. So if it's like, hey, that's my ex-girlfriend, remove her from the shot. Or
Which
hey,
happens quite a
I
bit,
actually
yeah.
hate my mother-in-law. Can you not have her in it so much?
Fight
Or
broke
hey,
out.
my best man was like plastered drunk and on cocaine. I don't really want his speech in the film. Can you remove it?
Also happens quite a bit.
I'm like, you know what? Happy to, right? Happy to remove that, whatever. If they come back and say, oh my gosh, I want a longer edit, or I want, can you rework, I want this song instead, or can you do this, this, and this? It's in our contract and it's very well communicated that that is something we charge for.
Right.
So we have to, re-edit. It takes days. We have a backlog of clients. You're kind of asking to be put in front of those people. So it's a premium. You charge per edit, per revision. And if they do ask for that, I make sure to a detailed questionnaire about what exactly they want reworked, so that we don't have to do it again. So hopefully we can get everything taken care of on that re-edit and not a third or a fourth.
Yeah.
I've never had a third or a fourth. So
right. You should be able to get it, hopefully, on the first revision.
yeah, if they're asking like, hey, I don't like this, it's like, okay, well, before you say, yeah, let me fix it, you should like sit down and ask those hard questions,
Right.
and not take anything personally,
Right.
about what they didn't like
Yeah.
about it.
So yeah, one revision for free, because you
Yeah.
know this is a creative work. Some people, it's their wedding video. They want it to be. It's going to be something they're watching every year for the rest of their life. So you want it to be perfect. After the first revision, I think it's always important just to say, I'm happy to, because you want to be a pleasure to work with. I'm happy to do that for you. Just let you know, like I charge X per hour. Here's a detailed list. Like, what you're saying. What exactly do you want? Because you don't want this going on to 3, 4, or 5 revisions. That's a night. Do you remember Brian Garcia in our Facebook group?
Gosh.
If you guys want a great read, dig up Brian Garcia's Facebook posts in our Facebook group about the groom who was like missing a tooth, and he asked for it to be filled in all the frames. And
That's
then
one of the things.
that was
yeah.
just one of the things. And he does it, and then the next revision, it's like, oh shoot, our officiant isn't wearing socks.
Brian went above and beyond for this guy.
It's like
Gave an inch,
a lot of these
took a mile.
things should, a lot of these things should have been fixed on the wedding day. It's not your fault these things happen.
Yeah.
But exactly, you need to, when you give the first revision for free, if that's what you do, the next time it's like, okay, I charge this, but here is a big long questionnaire of what exactly needs to be fixed. 'Cause you don't want it taking up your backlog.
Yes. Also is how to avoid revisions. And I think it's making the film personable, emotional, and just remove mistakes that you made. So I think
Easy thing to, just remove your mistakes.
just like if you mess up, problem solve. Like you're
Be
problem
better.
solving a live event in pre and post production.
Yeah.
And so like for example, I think times I've had to add revisions are when like I didn't include enough people in the film. Like it was so focused on the bride and the groom, and there wasn't any family. And in fact, one of our good friends, Spencer, his family hated his wedding film. I think, maybe not. I think.
Hey Spencer, how you doing?
But he said he told me it just felt like a glorified. He said it was great for the bride and groom and the friends, and I didn't really showcase as much of the family. And that was one of my first years of doing this, and that was a learning experience. Like, you know what? Like they're inviting people to their wedding. I need to showcase the family, the friends, the people who make this event so important. It's not just a glorified bride and groom music video, which I think Justin Porter does at 120% as an
Shows
example.
off the family and friends.
Yeah. And so and I've never had revisions from people saying, oh, can you include more flat lays or more design or more drone shots? Like it's all superfluous. And you look at freaking Justin Porter and he's like, and think about like J Mac talking about a couple reactions. They always cry when they see people.
Right.
Justin Porter knows that like that's what makes the film emotional. And think about Dallin and Morgan in Oregon when they react to their film.
Right.
The tears started coming when they saw Lucy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I just think I think you avoid those revisions by that. With Brian Garcia.
That one's an anomaly. That one's
like that's just, you're like, wow, I had no idea. Or like if your bride has like insecurities that you didn't know about, like, hey, crop that part out. Or,
yeah.
So that's going to happen. But that's why I think that's kind of goes in the free revision category.
Right.
Like, it's like, hey, I don't like how I look in this. Can you replace that shot? I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, Anyway,
I think it's hard for creatives too, because it's like there are a lot of times where it's like the 80-20 rule, where it's great and now you're just nitpicking little things when no one's going to notice.
yeah,
But more often than not, if you notice something that is just blatantly bad, but you're trying to say, oh, it's fine, but it's bad,
yeah,
most times clients are going to see that too. Like if one shot is just
yeah.
magenta and gross, and you're like, people
Yeah.
will notice that. Just fix those things. Do your best, fix your mistakes.
Yeah, or
See what they
New
say.
York did it. We just delivered a ceremony to a New
right,
York bride,
right.
and it was a top floor warehouse. We were using these really shizzy tripods, and so every step like caused some vibration.
Yeah.
And she noticed, and she just asked, "Hey, could you fix that?" And we're like, "Yeah,
Sure, great.
You
Bing.
know, like-
Super fast.
But then it's also like once we were doing that, I was like, "Why didn't we?"
Why
I
did
don't
we
know.
have those tripods?
Yeah, why do we have tripods, or why don't we just like fix that already? Like, so I
Right.
think like when you're editing, you got to think of yourself. You're still doing an event,
Right.
and so you should be problem solving in the editing room more so than you're problem solving,
Right.
on the day of. Like when it's the day of and someone's like, "Hey, you can't mic the officiant." It's like, okay, well, we adapt to that. It's like,
Right.
okay, we're gonna put mic here. Or law of this
All
is we
places.
just adapt to it. Same principle with editing. You gotta make sure you're adapting.
I like it.
So yeah, charge for your revisions after
I
you
like
do an easy one. Also, is the C80 still rolling? It
Yeah,
is.
C80 is still
Tallyland.
rolling.
Great.
C80 is still rolling. Okay. Oh, okay. What is the difference that you have learned?
He crosses his fingers.
What is the difference in the wedding world? Okay, what is the difference between a deposit and a retainer?
Ooh, I'm gonna butcher this.
It doesn't. Okay, we're not lawyers. Okay, if you want legally
Okay, but-
page things like that, but
But I've consulted with a lawyer about this.
okay, yeah, just give
I'm gonna
it
F it up.
broad advice
Okay,
here.
can I fact check myself really quick?
Sure, but just give advice based on like our experience, because we used to have a little background here. A lot of people, they say it's a non-refundable deposit
Got it.
when someone books, and then there have been a lot of cases when people actually cancel and they want that deposit back, and it's like, oh, sorry, it's a non-refundable deposit, and that's where things can
Yes.
get dicey.
So I consulted a lawyer about this because 2 years ago, someone brought up in a Facebook group. I got in an argument with them in the Facebook group. It wasn't our Facebook group. And then I was like, I actually want to make sure. And so I reached out to a lawyer and I said, like, I want to get clarity on this. And they pointed me in the direction of the law. In the case of small courts, if a client takes you to court, you have to know because words matter.
Difference between deposit and
Yeah.
retainer.
So
Yep.
the simple thing, and this is a great information to have. A retainer is an upfront fee to reserve a service.
Right.
A deposit is a partial payment towards a service.
Mm-hmm.
So if that service isn't rendered, if they sued you,
They can take you to small
they
courts.
technically, if you said in your agreement that the deposit was X amount, even if you say non-refundable deposit,
It's
that
still a
doesn't
deposit.
matter.
Right. It's still a deposit.
A non-refundable deposit is an oxymoron. They can still sue you and get their money back because no service was rendered and they paid for the service. Whereas in our line of work, we're asking for a retainer because the retainer reserves the date. That's all it's doing.
Yep.
And so whether they cancel, you reserve the date, which is what the retainer was for. They weren't paying you an advance to say film my wedding. They said the advance was to reserve
Slot
the
me in
date,
your schedule. Yep.
which in your agreements you say goes towards the payment. That's very important language that your retainer acts as a deposit towards the total fee, but it's not a deposit.
Kaboom.
Yeah.
That is one of the biggest things I think we've ever learned.
Yeah.
That it was just like night and day.
So please, if you have the word deposit in your agreements, remove it.
Change it for retainer.
Retainer.
Yeah. Because it just and once we found that out, it made so much
Yeah.
sense. It's like, well, duh. Yeah, deposit, retainer, two different things. Why are we all saying non-refundable deposit? It's just because one person do we all start doing it? Where did it start? You know?
Yeah, an example of a deposit, I'd say if it's like you're contracted to be an editor and you start working on a project with their deposit money and then they never paid you the second half. Yeah, it's just a whole different world. It's
Yeah.
like then you can ask for refunds, but like, yeah, retainer, especially in our line of work,
Right.
it's about the date that they're
Right.
reserving you for.
And I think even when a client sees non-refundable deposit, in their mind, it just still doesn't click. It's a deposit just for the service, but they see retainer. I feel like it clicks more that this is reserving them,
Yeah.
and they can't do anything about it
Yeah.
if something goes south.
Well, I saw in, I think it was either the How to Film's Weddings Facebook group or the Vendor Table Facebook group last year, they filmed a wedding of a lawyer and they got screwed because the lawyer canceled and educated them
gosh.
that I get my money back according to your
Because it was
contract.
deposit.
And they had to give the money back.
Oh my god!
And so they were freaking out in the Facebook group, and all the comments were like,
sorry.
"You have
He's
to give
right.
like if he's gonna take you to court, and you're gonna lose more money than that deposit." Yeah.
They're filming Harvey Specter's wedding. Gosh.
Do you watch Succession?
Succession?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I'm watching Paradise though.
Good, huh?
Fantastic show.
Pretty interesting.
Are you caught up?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Pretty interesting. That first episode, but this is us.
It's
Had Dr. K doing a fruit analogy, and then they had the
Yeah.
ending. You're like,
Yeah, very This Is Us, and like the lighting and cinematography. I was like, yeah, this is very This
Yeah,
Is
it's
Us,
good.
but like
I like it.
it's kind of like a little silo.
Nuts. Yeah.
Very good.
Silo, the dome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really, really good. I started Peaky Blinders again yesterday.
Miss it.
Gosh, dang it.
It is a show you have to watch twice.
It is.
I've watched
It
it
is.
twice. Yeah.
Yeah, trying to get Kayla on it, so we'll see if it sticks.
Bio, no fighting.
No fighting. All right, let's do a few more here.
Okay.
Okay, I want to. This one is over. People overthink this. Okay, we preach. You got to be shooting for planners. You got to be shooting like styled shoots and things like that. And so we teach in our educational courses and YouTube, like, hey, we got this gig because we approached a planner. We asked to shoot BTS with them, and it turned into this. And a lot of people overthink it, and they say, how do you approach a planner and ask them to shoot like BTS? And that's all it is. Just overthink. Like, it's not that hard. This shouldn't even be a question. The question is literally, how do you approach a planner and say, can we shoot BTS for
Yeah.
you?
It's like that.
I just did it.
Nate just did it. Yeah, I think a couple of ways. So we consulted with Emma about this, about reaching out to planners, cold emails. She has a really cool networking guide that we loved. We kind of evolved it to kind of better meet our brand and better our values, but it was a great baseline. So I highly recommend checking her out.
Yeah.
But yeah, essentially, like I don't want to lead off on the foot of we want to film BTS for you.
Yeah.
Period. I want it to be focused on the long term goal of like I want to film your
network.
events.
Yeah, we want to be
Yeah, I want to.
established
Yeah,
vendor.
and so like we reached out and we acknowledged what we love about their brand, their style, their weddings. We mentioned a wedding by name that we love specifically. We also call out kind of on their About You page on their website, like what we love about their planning team. And, oftentimes like a planning team of like 3 people. We call out what we love about their team and their aesthetic and whatever. But mainly focusing on the events because we want them to see us as their event videographers. So that's the pitch, is we want to be on their list and to film their events. And then as like a bonus at the end of that email, we say, while we're there at these weddings, we want to offer you our services to film behind the scenes content of your team, whether that's setting up of the event, before and afters, content of your main staff, kind of doing some branding things, maybe an interview video about like what brought this wedding to life. And I always say, and don't take my tagline, but I always say, we want to be your guys.
Yeah.
That's kind of Nate and I's personalities. Like we're
Just
these
be
2
upfront.
dudes.
We wanna be your
and we
guys.
want to be your guys. We want to be in your corner. But again, that's kind of like a bonus of like, let us like be at your weddings and here's the value.
Right.
Like we'll service your clients, but we want to service you.
Yeah.
Whereas just like reaching out cold and saying, "Hey, can we show up and film behind the scenes for you?" Which we have.
We have.
But we're kind of evolved into this approach of like, I want them to see us as event videographers first that will service their clients, who's their priority, but also their brand.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, it's just I think a lot of people are afraid of being blacklisted by a planner when they like reach out to shoot BTS. And like planners aren't going to blacklist you. I'm going to say that. Like, I don't think so because they need content. Yeah. And even if you are like trying to, they know you're trying to get in their corner. Like they're not dumb. They know you're trying to get in their network, but you're offering them value.
Yeah.
They might blacklist you if you just reach out and say, "Hey, I'd love to film your weddings. Can I film your wedding?" sort of thing.
Which, imagine that wasn't on an email. It's
I know.
like walking up to somebody with your business card,
Hey,
putting it in their pocket, and then tapping it and walking away.
say, "Give me money. Give me your money. Give me your clients."
Ugh.
It's like, ugh. So don't do that. Offer value. and then see what happens. Like,
Yeah.
they're not going to be like, ooh, Jake and Nate, these guys from Runway Vows reached out
Yeah.
to me and like offered to film a wedding and
Yeah.
get BTS of our whole team.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they're not going to do that.
No, they'll appreciate it.
Yeah, they'll appreciate it.
Well, I've just kind of figured that like when I reach out to film behind the scenes solely, it's like you're dancing around what everyone knows.
Right.
They know you want to be on their list
They
to
do.
film their weddings.
They do.
And they know you're trying to just get in the door, and they know you're trying to offer value to do that,
Right.
and they probably appreciate that. But they know what you're trying to do.
Right.
So why not just like
Go the extra mile.
yeah, call out the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
And say, I want to be your wedding videographer. I will service your clients because I love what your brand does. I love your vision. And I also want to be your guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to film behind the scenes content for you. And that way they don't feel like you're being slimy about anything. They just know you're transparent, you're honest. And I think that goes a long way.
I think it goes a long way, especially in this like creative world. I'm going to say like a lot of people are kind of fake. You know, they're kind of like putting on this like,
Bro,
I
you know who's the
love this.
fakest? I'm sure.
Do you know? Don't get me
Bro, the fakest
started.
people in this industry are
Well, like a lot of people like are in this industry just purely for the money. You know,
Orlando.
don't care.
Sorry.
Orlando from Storybook Films and just kidding. But like there are a lot of guys who are just a lot of people in this for the money, and they'd be doing 1,000 other things
Yeah.
if they didn't have to, and they just like they're kind of just there's like this facade.
Yeah.
They're just like acting a certain way, and everyone knows that.
Yeah.
So I think it's refreshing in this line of work when address the elephant in the room. Hey,
Yeah.
we want to be your guys. We're not going to
Yeah,
like try to
why
like
not?
we're not just going to, you know, pepper you up with all this flowery language and
Yeah.
compliments. Like, no, we want to be your guys. We'll do this for you.
Well, I think
till we're
about
good.
with Britt when we first met Britt, and you walked up to her and said, like, "Nice to meet you. We're videographers.
Right.
We'd love to work with you." And she said, "Oh, I'd love that too." And then I was like, "Well, what's the quickest thing available?" It's like,
Yeah.
"Do you have anything coming up?" And she said, "I'm doing a workshop." And so I was like, "Can we come to that and film behind the scenes for you?" So that was like an example of like getting your foot in the door because that was like the appropriate thing to do in that moment. It's not like, I want to be at your weddings. It's
Right.
like, well, what do you have coming up? Well, how can we add value to you as soon as possible?
It's like, great, we'll be there.
Yeah. And we have weddings this year where that email that we sent people worked, where we
Yeah.
said, we want to be at your weddings
Yeah.
and we want to service you.
Yeah.
And they sent us an inquiry and they said, here's a wedding. And I said, like, great. And we're showing up a day early at one of these weddings, literally just to film the staff,
Crazy.
filming,
Yeah.
putting up the tents and stuff. And,
Yeah.
But we said that's what we wanted to do for them. And we're eating the cost of being there a day early.
Yeah.
And Aspen, it's going to put us under that hotel fee for that
Gosh,
extra
dang it.
night.
Runway Vows
But like, again,
established.
it's like, I just know what that's going to lead to. And so I'm
Right.
like, absolutely happily.
Willing to bite the,
Yeah.
the bullet here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll say in Ireland at our past workshop when we were kind of teaching about, man, what were we teaching about? Like preparation, meeting, opportunity, like
Yeah.
being prepared. I think that was something that was like,
Generic.
yeah, it was very generic, but it was a great presentation. But in that presentation, we talked about a little more of this like emailing strategy, and I was actually corrected by Mathieu. So Mathieu is there; he's a veteran of the industry, and I was sitting there saying like, yeah, we sent out this email, and like just this past week, we sent out an email saying, hey, like we just started following you, we love your work, and at the end, Mathieu was like very politely, very kindly, because Matthew's the nicest guy ever. He's like, by the way, like when you, if you reach out to a planner over email, don't lead with, I just started following you.
Yeah.
You want to say, I've been following you for a while. And that doesn't have to mean years. That could be months. That could be weeks. Like that could even mean
Hours.
days, right? It's all subjective. Yeah, minutes. But don't lead with, I just started following you. I love your work. Sorry for those people with headphones on. Everyone's timeline's editing. But no, don't
Yeah.
lead with that. Like, cause they'll see through that. They already see that you're trying to get in the network. If they see you're just reaching out cause you just hit follow, it's like, say something like, I've been following you for a while. I love Sean and Ali's
Yeah.
gallery. I love that location.
Yeah.
We're actually going to be in that spot.
Yeah.
How can we like film BTS for it? So
Yeah.
just don't overthink it.
The one time we had a planner follow us this last week and we weren't following them, but they followed us and I was like, I'm not sure. So that was like a fun DM because they just followed us. So I followed them right back. And since we had both just followed one another, I got to say like, I can't believe I wasn't following you.
Yeah.
Like I absolutely love your work. Like, whatever. So, but yeah.
All right. One more question for this episode here.
Okay.
Okay. What do you do? What do you do when the client asks to pick their own music for the film?
I say no.
Just no.
I do.
What's the workaround?
Next question.
What's the workaround?
Raw. Next question.
No, you don't. I know for a fact you don't just say no.
I explain that our music has to be licensed, but we'll make sure to do our best to do justice to their personalities and their vision and their wedding. But I always say if there's a specific song, like your song, that you would love a video of, and if you're adamant about it, we can make you a teaser for social media.
Yeah.
But I say that video has to live on social media. It can't be posted to YouTube or Facebook. It needs to live on Instagram or TikTok, so
Easiest workaround.
that's the workaround.
Easiest workaround.
I was also just taught by one of my mentors this weekend. Another workaround is to just shift the liability.
How so?
And so if they say they're adamant and say, no, I want my film to use this song, again, take this with a grain of salt.
Don't change.
Just
too much.
have the ethic. The best thing to do is to, and I haven't really thought about this thoroughly. This is new information. Is to just have your clients and sign an NDA, shifting all the liability to them.
Yeah.
So
That's smart.
they're responsible for whatever happens for using the song, but you can't. You as a videographer won't be posting that video on YouTube or Instagram. It's for them, and whatever happens, it's on them. And they have a signed NDA saying we take all liability. So, and oftentimes, since you're giving them the video, and you're saying here's your gallery, I'm not posting on my socials, the odds of them uploading it to some YouTube channel are very low.
Right.
But even then, worst case, they just can't monetize it. It's just
yeah.
So it's not a lot of risk. It's still technically quote unquote illegal, but you're shifting the liability off of yourself to them.
But you signed an NDA.
Yeah, it makes sense. Someone's taking liability for it, and then if they're okay with the repercussions, get it in writing and say, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
But I've never done that. I'm just saying I can usually sell them on the reasoning of our music has to be licensed. But if there's a song, we can make you a little teaser for that. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do one more question. Okay. What do you do when a client wants to book your flights for you?
No, I say no.
But how?
I've always said no. I've never said yes. I think with the exception of you, maybe.
I think I did. I've said yes to, I think, one, maybe two. And one time and never again.
Yeah, I never.
Because it's just surprising
or
how much
hotel,
stuff.
because you have to use your credit card still for incidentals.
That's what I did. That's why I did. It was a hotel.
Yeah.
Someone booked my hotel and never again. Because it's just it was 11 something when I showed up. They need to call them.
Yeah, I did that one too. I called. I think it was under 25 or well for the reason.
It was something stupid.
But they had to get approval.
Yeah.
Just to charge the car on file.
Oh, so dumb.
And we have to use Jake's card because he's here. I'm I'm not paying for this hotel.
I know. And then you have to send more reimbursement.
I don't have the money for that.
I know.
Yeah. See, I never let the clients do that
Ever.
And I think in our current market, we never have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Correction. Only time we've ever let that happen is when it's at an all-inclusive resort and it's like a wedding
Everyone's
deal, so they have to. And
but we got
you a room.
Yep.
That's the only time, and I remove that from the package cost.
Right.
If it's an on-location place, but if it's everything else, no. Never.
That's a little different because you just show up, you say, "Hey, I'm here for the whatever
and
wedding,"
room
and
for you.
"Oh, great, here's your room,"
which is so nice.
I love that. More weddings like that, please.
Yeah, Mexico, man.
We'll go back.
Yeah,
we'll go back.
So yeah, one more lightning round.
Yeah, lightning round. All right, Jacob.
This wedding will be called Neapolitans, NDAs, and blow pops. Just something super weird.
Okay. What do you do? What do you do when the mom wants to book you instead of the couple?
I say yes.
But
moms love me.
Schmoozing Dinoco.
We say we schmooze the moms.
Schmoozing Dinoco.
Moms are into us.
Dude, moms like our booking calls.
Moms.
Dude,
moms have a thing for us. Frick. Episode's now called MILFs.
We're married. We're married.
Happily. My wife's a hot mom, by the way.
You have a family.
I got a mom. Yeah, I got a mom.
She's a mom now.
She's great. Say yes. So there's this. Okay, so I live and die by the legal page.
I'll spit it out.
So much information, just brainiac over here. The legal page. We'll link them below this episode. I don't think we ever have, but they're amazing. It's a lawyer who decided to kind of go into the creative industry and just make contracts for photographers, vendors,
Right.
and she has clauses for everything. The
Everything.
legal page. So we have our contract. We have to do a lot of reworking for our market, but like 90% there as a baseline.
Worth it, yeah.
Amazing. It's like $500. Easiest money I ever spent to save me thousands of legal fees.
100%.
And it's by a lawyer. Okay, so she sold this thing called the third party addendum clause, which I'd never heard of. And so I was on her site shopping. I looked at it, and that was the answer to my question from the last like 7 years. Was this third party addendum? So in your contracts, you want the responsibility and the communication between you and the bride and the groom, because
Right.
they're ultimately the people you're servicing.
client.
They're the client, but oftentimes the mom is the checkbook,
Right.
and throwing the wedding for her daughter, and maybe cares more than her daughter does. But you still want the bride to be the one asking for revisions or whatever.
It's their film.
Yeah, it's their day, you
Yeah.
know. But the third party addendum clause takes care of that. So it keeps the bride and groom as the client, but it's like 4 paragraphs about how it introduces a third party to be the payor and assume responsibility for the payments and the liability of the contract clauses, while keeping the bride and groom as the client.
That makes
I
sense.
just butchered how that's explained, but
I
that's
think
it.
we get it, yeah.
And so then I have that in every contract, and it only comes into play if there's a third party attached. Because if it's like just bride and groom, that clause is in there and it says if applicable,
Yeah.
But if there's like a mom, I put her name, if applicable, so and so is now the third party in that clause. She's listed, her signature is put into the contract. It's beautiful.
Very smart. Yeah.
So the third party addendum.
Third party addendum.
Yeah, and I think Legal Page sells that clause for like $100.
Easy $100.
Yeah, no, it
Easy.
seriously was. And there's also a second shooter clause, just while I'm thinking about it, for like $50 or $100. So you put it in your contracts. I think it's like lead shooter. Forget what it is. Basically, taking if you can't show up to your wedding, what happens? So like, we'll have a vetted professional there. So yeah, she's amazing, amazing addendums to contracts. We've bought them all, by the way.
That's where the money went.
Big investments. I added so many things to our shopping cart, but seriously, like I think, in all jokes aside, we've probably spent like $1,000-$1,200 on all of our contract clauses.
Yeah. They're worth it though. They've
But it's a
saved
one-time
us.
payment,
Right.
and I've never had to worry.
No.
Yeah.
No one has ever said, "Hey, your contract's nope."
The next thing
Dotted
we
the
gotta buy
T's.
is an NDA.
I thought you were about to say no. Actually, our next client is talking about a contract.
No, but yeah,
Yeah, we should
legal
buy an
page.
NDA.
Legal
Yeah.
page. It's so nice.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Does she have? Yeah, she has NDAs, right?
probably.
maybe
So
she
to answer the question, the moms, like, yeah, like our goal is to be as easy to work with as possible. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say, let me know when the bride's ready to talk. I'm gonna say, yeah, like, let's make this happen. You're listed in the contract as a third party.
Yeah.
We got to keep between the bride and grooms, but like, here it is. And
Yeah.
so now what that kind of might shift is if the bride or the mom or the planner don't want us to have the bride's contact information, which is rare, but happens.
Very rare. Yeah.
So in that case, I'm not going to like stick to my guns. I'm just going to be a team player, knowing it's a rare occurrence, and say you're the client.
Yeah.
But that's such a rare thing. I think
Never had that.
we're in the business of exceptions, right? Like, I know that's not going to happen every time. So if it happens once every 3 years, I'm not going to be like, no, actually, we have to have the bride's email. I'm just going to say yes, because no
Yeah.
one's ever going to do that again. And if they do, it's rare.
I was about to say maybe we'll come across that because like we're kind of in the spot
Maybe.
where some rich mom might be, hey, I'm thinking like a birthday party. Hey, I'm
maybe.
throwing a birthday party. It's like great.
Maybe.
Your
Yeah, I don't know.
12-year-old is not going to be
Yeah.
the client,
But even like with these big planners, like our planners this year are the biggest planners we've worked with ever in our careers.
Yeah.
But even they understand that we need the bride's contact.
Yeah,
And so
that's
they
true.
did all the booking for us.
That's true.
And then they said, great, here's the bride's email, send her the proposal so she can sign it. So they know. And so I think once a situation arises where like that's not true, we'll just adapt and be team players.
Yeah.
Because I think
I
you
agree.
and I, our MO is to adapt and just to be easy to work with.
Just, easy to adapt. Yeah.
So we've had to
Easy to work
change from
with.
Honeybook for certain clients, use Honeybook for other
Just a
clients.
PDF. Yeah.
Yeah, like some planners like want us on Honeybook, some don't.
Yeah.
So the point is I just want to adapt. I don't want
Adapt.
you to adapt to me. I'll adapt to you.
Yeah, I like that.
Because you're managing like 300 people. I'm managing 3.
Just a couple.
So let's just
Yeah.
given to your system. Yeah.
Well, Jake, I would say you passed.
Thanks. I think I do this for a living. Next month, this will all be false. I'll have new
Next
ideas,
month's true or false.
new beliefs, and this is all outdated within
Yeah,
a
this
few
will be a
weeks.
monthly episode. So, like, what do you do in this scenario? It's like,
Asterisk?
well,
Is it
actually-
asterisk?
Asterisk.
Really?
There's an S in there.
Asterisk?
An asterisk.
I've been saying like Astrid, the name, but with like an X.
Wait, like
Asterix.
you've been saying what?
I've been saying asterix.
Asterix?
ASTRIX is how I've been saying that word.
With an X? Asterisk?
Well,
okay.
SK
Yeah.
is an X.
It makes sound. Yeah, okay. It sounds more. Yeah, when you said an
Yeah.
X, asterisk. Asterisk.
I think I've even typed that before.
with an X? No way.
ASTRIX.
Not a chance you've done it.
It's asterix.
Asterisk.
Asterisk.
There's two S's. Asterisk.
Asterisk. Little star next to my rant about the liability of the music licensing.
Just a small star.
Asterisk.
Yeah, there was actually a
There's
word.
no way that's how you say it. Say it again. Say it in a sentence.
Put an asterisk next to where.
See, that's a way to asterisk.
It's an asterisk.
That's not how you just said
No,
it, though.
Jacob, I
that's
just
like four
said-
syllables.
No.
You when in the sentence you
3.
said
Asterisk. Put an asterisk next
that's
to what?
2 syllables.
Asterisk. That's 3.
Asterisk.
Asterisk.
I would say asterisk.
See, that's where you and I are different.
That's a really awkward word.
It is not. I'll give that to you. It is.
I would just say put a
Asterisk.
little star.
Asterisk. No, there was actually a word this past week that I realized I've been saying wrong my whole life, and I'm like, dang, what was it? I think it was like a location. Oh,
Yosemite.
it was no. Yosemite is a classic.
was me.
No, it was I used to always say Singapore. It's Singapore.
You have not said Singapore.
No, I said Signa, like Sigma. Signa.
Up until this week?
Up until this week, I've always said.
You're joking.
I've said Singapore.
It's Singapore.
I know it is. It's Singapore, but I've always said Singapore. Singapore. And then this week it was like, oh, it's Singapore. Crazy.
It is.
I feel like an idiot.
I mean, there's a few things I've always said wrong. Yeah.
There's a good, well, yeah. Episode like 3 of this podcast. I remember you
Leopard. Yeah, I was driving down a road and it said Leopard Lane. And I was like, Leopard, that's an interesting word.
No, there was.
And I was like, man, I know what leotard is.
No. The leopard was crazy, but was it Pacific? Specific? Say specific. You say Pacific.
I do say Pacific.
You just leave out S's. Is it just the S?
I mumble. I know I mumble. I think I have heavy lips. And so I just think I mumble. I have heavy cheeks and heavy lips.
Yeah, just heavy.
And so I just feel like I mumble a lot. In fact, I get so triggered when someone has to ask me to
Man, you have problems with
careful
your
with ask. Careful. A lot of people can't
crazy.
say
That's
ask.
crazy. That is crazy.
I will say,
that is wild.
Yeah, I just think I mumble, and I hate when people like ask me like what. Like Kent does all the time. Like, huh? I just hate that I have to repeat myself because I know I mumbled the first time.
You are a mumbler. I
But
will
yeah, so
give
I
you
think I
credit
should say Pacific 'cause it's easier than
instead
specific.
of specific. I'll give you a lot of credit here. You've become much better at your mumbling.
Enunciating.
Yeah, because if you watch some of your old FTF videos,
Mumbler.
Mumbler City, dude, Mumble
From
City.
Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
You're mumbling.
No, like some of your
Yeah.
old FTF, they're
I
great,
just
but it's very mumbling.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang. I mean, I mumble. I think it's just
Yeah, I think talking in front of the camera for
definitely helps
7
you.
years
And
now.
editing it, yeah.
Yeah, and
Editing
just
your
being like,
voice.
wow, I hate my voice.
Yeah.
But my camera voice is way better than my if we're just talking voice because I mumble then.
Yeah, you have good camera voice.
You know who talks in who needs like duct tape on their sentences is Dallin.
What do you mean duct tape?
Like
stop him
everything
from
he
talking?
says, it just feels like it came in with duct tape on it. Like it just feels like it came in broken
Coarse.
and then like badly fixed in
think-
real time.
No, I think Dallin's thing is like he's thinking as he's speaking.
Yeah.
And so
He's
one
slow-minded.
thought will take 45 minutes to
Yeah.
just come full circle, you know?
Yeah, and I have that in a much more condensed way. Whereas I
Nice 40
whereas
fours.
I think it's because of the haters I've had to like
Yeah.
argue with. where I'd rather cover all the bases before I get to the answer of your question. So that way, when I finally answer your question 10 minutes later,
It's good strategy.
you're like, all your arguments have already been answered in my preface.
Yeah.
Trump does that kind
Good
of.
strategy. You could be president.
I could be like Trump. It could be huge. No, but like, I think my issue with Trump talking is what I do is he
smack
covers everything and then he answers it at the end. And
After
you're just
an
like,
hour. You're just like, dang, that hurt to
Yeah.
listen to. But no, you're a lot better at mumbling.
thanks.
I think having a podcast too and listening to yourself
Yeah.
week after week kind of helps.
Yeah.
Maybe we should hire
What if
like
we just ended the podcast without saying we're ending? Like just that silence, and then it's just, and then people like look at their YouTube, like, why did they stop talking? Oh, it's over.
Oh.
And we just like stop talking.
That'd be hilarious.
Anyway,
maybe
what were
we'll
you
do
gonna
that.
say?
I was about to say maybe we should hire a voice coach
Yeah.
for the business.
For you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always wanted
What are you
to hire
trying
a
to
voice coach. Yeah, so I've been looking
you
at
speak
it.
great. I was just saying, like, was that pointed towards me?
No, I think what's his name? Chris Williamson from Modern Wisdom podcast.
Yeah.
He has a voice coach, but he also does only
He
podcasting.
also has an accent.
He
Is he
does.
Australian?
No, he's
I think every
he's from the
Australian should
UK.
have a-
He's from the UK. No,
I would like a body language coach.
body language coach would be
I
really
think
cool.
that's fascinating.
Yeah, body
See that
language
one
would be
guy talks about like stepping into your words.
Yeah,
That's such an interesting,
is cool.
simple.
stepping into your words.
Yeah, don't
the,
pace, don't sway.
the little
yeah.
square right here, the power
Just
square.
step into your
Yeah.
sentence.
I'm a swayer.
You do sway.
When I stand still, I just sway.
Well, I fidget. I'm a fidgeter.
I just shift.
Also, if I don't know what I'm saying, I'm answering you, I'll scratch my collarbone.
You do that a lot.
A lot. Or if I'm like awkward, I want to
Tanner, make a compilation of all of the answers Jake has ever given with just, yeah.
Or if I'm like talking to you and I don't want to be talking to you, I want to be anywhere else. I'm just like, I just do this. Yeah.
Tanner,
Like, I don't know why.
Make a compilation, please.
I just, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. We'll see you later.
That means I'm so bored with you.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
ready to move on.
I'll
yeah.
keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
On that note, let's probably end this one. What do you say?
Love you guys.
Love you all.